I think most of us have this picture in our heads of the brain. Like it's a corporate office directory or something. You want language. Third floor left.
Yeah.
You need memory. That's in the basement.
The map theory, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But looking at the sources we're digging into today, that map, it might be totally outdated. We're doing a deep dive into localization of function.
Which is, I mean, it's a massive question.
It is. Can you actually point to one spot and say, that is where language lives? Or have we been, oversimplifying things?
Well, if you've taken any basic psychology course, they teach you that, yeah, localization is real. You always learn about the two heavy hitters, Paul Broca and Carl Wernicke.
The classics. Broca's area is for making speech.
Right, speech production.
And Wernicke's is for understanding it. Damage one, you can't talk. Damage the other, you talk nonsense, it seems. Oh, it seems open and shut.
One spot, one job. And for a long time, that was just, it was dogma.
But that's where things get interesting.
That's where they get messy. There's this researcher, Lashley, who he threw a real wrench in the gears with something he called equipotentiality theory.
That is a mouthful. But the actual idea is, it's kind of amazing, right?
It is. Lashley argued that while, sure, basic motor stuff might be strictly mapped.
Like moving your finger.
Exactly. But higher mental functions, like thinking, they aren't. He suggested that if one part of the cortex gets damaged, other intact areas can actually step in. They can take over.
So it's not like a car engine where if one part breaks, the whole thing just dies. It's more like...
Like rerouting traffic.
Rerouting traffic. That's a great way to put it. The brain isn't rigid. It adapts.
It has a backup plan.
Which makes you second-guess that original evidence. I mean, patient Tan, right?
Yeah.
Broca's famous patient. The entire theory of Broca's area really rests on this one guy's brain.
He is the cornerstone. But, and this is the fascinating part, fast forward to 2007, a team of researchers led by Dronkers, they decided to reopen this cold case.
And they had modern tech on their side.
They did. They put Tan's actual preserved brain into a high-res MRI scanner.
Wow. And the map just, it crumbled.
Well, it got a lot more complicated. Yes, there was a lesion in Broca's area, that was true, but the MRI showed damage to lots of other neighboring regions too.
So blaming his speech problems only on that one spot was a mistake.
It's an example of what we call biological reductionism. You're trying to reduce this incredibly complex behavior down to a single dot on a map.
When really it's a team effort. A whole network of areas working together.
Exactly. Which brings us to this whole network idea. It's not just about the stations, it's about the tracks that connect them.
Like that case from Dedgerine, the man who couldn't read.
This is so telling. The man's visual area was fine, his language area was fine, but he still couldn't read.
Why? Because the bridge was out?
The bridge was out. The connection between the visual cortex and Wernicke's area had been severed. It proves you can have perfectly healthy brain regions, but if the wiring is broken, the function just disappears.
Which also makes you wonder if every brain is even mapped the same way. The notes mentioned a study by Hirasti on gender differences.
Right. Hirasti found that, proportionally, women have larger Broca's and Wernicke's areas than men do.
A detail the original map theory just completely ignores.
It does. In research, that's called beta bias, where you minimize the differences between groups. If you build your whole map based on a standard male brain, you're misreading half the population. The one-map-fits-all idea just doesn't work.
So if we pull this all together for everyone listening, we started with this neat, rigid directory.
Shipping here, receiving there.
Yeah. And what we actually have is a highly active, constantly adapting network where the wiring matters just as much as the hubs themselves.
It totally shifts the focus from where something happens to how it happens.
It really changes how you think about your own mind. And here's a final thought to leave you with.
Yep.
If Lashley is right, and our brain functions can physically move around to compensate for damage, how much of your personality is actually anchored in place, and how much of it is just fluid?
That is a deep thought.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you next time.